All right, hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the station house at the Mudhen for our annual Cape May County High School basketball preview show here on Cape Atlantic Live. I'm Brian Kniff, Matt Ulmer handling all the production behind the scenes. And it's always a great night to celebrate Cape May County basketball here at the Mudhen. We appreciate them having us for this event. And we will be bringing on coaches and players from every team in Cape May County over the next, 2.5 to 3 hours. And we'll talk about their teams and some of the individuals and some of the hot topics in high school basketball as the season gets set to begin this coming week. Actually, tomorrow, one of our local teams has a couple of our local teams, I believe, are actually in action tomorrow as the scrimmage season has wound down. The very short preseason, coaches certainly would want more time than this, but everyone ready or not, it is time to go, and the basketball season will begin in earnest this week. So now that we've set the stage here at the Mudhen, we will have the Wildwood Catholic teams coming on right after this break here. But we thank everyone for being here and watching live on Cape Atlantic Live, the Cape May County High School basketball show, live from the station house at the Mudhen Brewery in Wildwood. We'll be right back. All right, back live at the Mudhen, Cape May County High School basketball preview show here on Cape Atlantic Live. And first up will be the Wildwood Catholic boys team. We'll talk about the Crusaders here as they get set to begin their season. You guys start tomorrow night, I believe, right?
Yes.
That's against Atlanta Christian. Head coach Brendan Norris could not make it. Something came up last minute, so assistant coach Kyle Morinelli is sitting in, and then going across your screen next to the coach is Peyton Rosanello, Calvin Kiker, and Paris Kinsey. And they are three seniors from this Wildwood Catholic team. And first of all, gentlemen, thanks for being here. If you could just move up to that microphone a little bit closer there. There you go. And Calvin, you can use that wireless one there. Okay. All right. So Kyle, let's talk about this team here. Obviously a new coaching staff. Brendan comes in. You're coming in with him, and just how's the preseason been going so far?
Yeah, first, thanks, Brian. Thanks for having us here for what you do for all the kids of Cape May County. Yeah, Brendan came in late August there, so he coming in from a program that just lost almost all the starters. I guess Calvin's really and Peyton got some time last year. He really Brendan. Everyone knows Brendan Norris. He's full of enthusiasm, energy. All that. So he's really gotten the Crusaders here on the move. He's bringing a whole from all his experiences. He's really got them going.
Why don't you tell us about, well, first of all, tell us about these three guys here. I mean, Paris is a transfer, so he has to sit for a little bit. He'll be eligible in early January, but obviously these are three key guys for you.
Yeah, we got so Peyton here. He's definitely coming on being a leader for what I've seen in practice. And again, I've only been here now for about a month, or through our not even a month, few weeks here with practices. He's really bringing on. He's become a really good shooter, carrying on from last year. Calvin is really the heartbeat of the whole offense. He takes us from the point and really has become more of a vocal leader for what I've seen. And just getting to know Paris now, just a dynamic scorer. He has a lot of different abilities to create within the offense to really get us going.
All right, so Calvin, as one of the few guys back from last year's team, 20 wins, Cape Atlantic League title game appearance. What are you hoping to be able to do this season?
I just hope to get back to the same situation as last year, get it to the Cal championship.
How's it been different? Has to be different coaching staff. So how's it been different?
It's a lot more. It's just different. It's more enthusiastic and hardworking. Yeah.
All right, so Peyton, let's switch to you. You're going to take on a bigger role this year, I would imagine. You were kind of a bench guy last year. What are you looking forward to here? Your last go around as a senior.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year is really what everything's been building up to, like my whole life basically. And I think having Brendan come in as the coach has honestly been huge for us. I feel like the culture has changed. Everyone wants to win so badly from the top down that it's going to be hard for us to lose.
And Paris, how difficult is it here? Because of the transfer rule, you have to sit out until January 3rd. How difficult you think it's going to be to have to watch here for a couple of weeks and not be out there on the floor helping out?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard, especially because these last couple of weeks we've been like all together, like as in one, and now I gotta like sit back and just watch them. I just can't wait to play with them.
Coming to Wildwood Catholic, what do you see with your new teammates?
Oh, I just see that like we literally like all want to win, and I feel like everybody's bought in. I feel like that's a great feeling because I haven't always had like everybody buying in.
Kyle, let's ask about the opener tomorrow night, Atlantic Christian, and they can be a little bit of a mysterious team because they're not an NJSIA school, but there's some years where they have a lot of talent in that program. That's a kind of a tricky opener.
Yeah, Coach B, we call him Coach B, talked highly on this, to how we need to use our court as an advantage. He really wants to use the size of it because they're a good shooting team. They're a very good shooting team from what we've seen. So we want to be able to really get up on them, do high pressure, and as Brendan says, he wants to play fast. He just wants to play fast and get up on them.
One of the things that is, I'm sure, a pleasant surprise, and I don't know if the number is still this high, but I know as of a week ago, you had 29 kids in the program. You're planning on playing a full freshman schedule, at least as much as you can. I know a lot of schools don't have freshman teams, but you're going to try to get a lot of games there. That has to be a major positive.
Yeah, that was one of the goals that Brendan, myself, Coach Draghi, and the rest of us have had, that we wanted to make sure that if we could, we really have a freshman team. And the numbers are there. I'm doing the JV, so the JV, we have good numbers. The freshmen are there, and that was Wildwood Catholic's here. Like we're our basketball program is right here, just with the rest.
Difficult division. You're in with Middle Township and Ocean City and St. Augustine, and I think Atlantic City moves in now. Some of these other teams are still pretty good. I mean, how do you feel like you fit in there this year?
We're going to compete. I definitely believe we're going to compete. We had a scrimmage yesterday, a quad meet with Sterling, Cherokee, and Overbrook, and we were right in it with all three of them. I coached at Mainland last year. I have to do a little shout out to Coach Feld and the rest of them up there. Great guys up there. I definitely believe that we can compete. I know the boys here, they know that we can be right in it with them. We're not going to be rolled over.
And, I know Brendan has, and it's tough because it'd be a great question for him, but he's not here. But, he has been looking for this shot to be a head coach. He's been around as an assistant. He's gotten some experience, and now that he's a head coach, I mean, what do you see in him and what he's been bringing to the program so far?
Brendan wishes he can be here. I'm hoping right now everything's all right with him. But he definitely, this is his dream. He bleeds Wildwood Catholic through and through. This is all he's ever been talked about. Me and him, and I know Coach Draghi, all of us have been talking, waiting for the moment that all three of us could be together. And he's poured every bit of ounce of his energy, effort, time, everything has gone into this season that he's been waiting for forever. And I love seeing him in practice. Everyone knows Coach Brennan. He has energy that goes off the roof, and just see him in practice, it really transfers to the boys, and the boys really buy into it. He's just nonstop. It's awesome.
Peyton, most of the coaches will probably say, no one's ready to start the season yet. Players, you guys, I'm sure, are ready to go. How much you looking forward to the opener tomorrow, and especially having it at home?
I can't wait. I mean, playing in the Wildwood Catholic gym is all of our favorite things to do. And I mean, about Atlantic Christian, I mean, we have a tough schedule. We're going to play a lot of good teams and a lot of not as good teams, but every game's the same. How good or bad they are, doesn't matter. We're looking to go get the job done.
Okay. All right. So that's the Wildwood Catholic boys. We appreciate you guys being here. Paris, good luck to you. As you have to wait it out a little bit, but we'll see you in January. And Peyton and Calvin, we wish you nothing but the best for your senior year. And Kyle Morinelli, the assistant, subbing for Brendan Norris today. And we appreciate the Wildwood Catholic boys being here. And best of luck to you guys going forward this season.
Thank you.
And we'll come back. Are you ready? All right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood for the Cape Atlantic Live, Cape May County High School basketball preview show. So we started off with the Wildwood Catholic boys. So naturally, we'll shift gears and go to the Wildwood Catholic girls. And joining us straight across from my left here, head coach Steve DePatry. I almost called you senior. Junior guard Lola McGonigal, senior Lily King, and sophomores Danny Daly and Demaya Carter. So we appreciate you ladies and coach being here today, and best of luck this season. And coach, we'll start with you. I know the overall numbers aren't where you'd like them to be, but this is a pretty talented group you have still.
Absolutely. We only have to put 5 out on the floor at a time, sir.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So coming off a 23-6 season, and you won the won the regular season division title, and won state playoff game, all that. And how do you feel like this group can match up in terms of what your expectations are and what your goals are?
We're working every day to be the best team we possibly can be, compete every day in practice, compete through scrimmages, through summer, and looking forward to the regular season opener this Thursday. Expectations, goals are always the same. We want to be the best we can be every single day. And, why put your goal anything less than trying to win a state title, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and speaking of success, you're, and I know, you don't want to come up here and talk about this, but I'm going to ask you about it anyway. You're 2 wins away from 600, and there's not many coaches in the state, and certainly not many in South Jersey, that have gotten that number. I know it's a major accomplishment. You don't do it without your players, but just speak to that. How long you've been able to do this and have the success that you've had.
I'll be honest, I'm trying not to think about personal goals. I'm focused on getting my team better every day. But the one thing I can say is that when I go to watch my players play in college, or I see them working successfully as adults, I know I've done my job for the last 29 years. And to be consistent and to build the kind of relationships and, have these great ladies up here with me. And I don't know if everybody else can see, but our whole team's here. We built the culture at Wildwood Catholic. We built one at Sacred Heart, and we're going to continue to do that every single day that I'm around.
Okay, so Lola, let's go to you. And unfortunately, Lola is without a doubt one of the best players in the Cape Atlantic League, and one of the best point guards in not only the league in South Jersey, but even the state. But unfortunately, a knee injury, you're not going to play this year. How difficult is that for you right now to watch your teammates and your friends practice, and you can't be out there with them?
It's pretty difficult, but to be honest, it's just a learning experience.
And why don't you just tell us real quick, how you are right now with your rehab and when you expect to be able to play and that type of thing?
I'm doing really well with the rehab. I'm 4 months post-op, so I should be running soon. But yeah, it's just day by day.
Off your soccer season here, where I know you're up to 60 some career goals already, so congratulations on that. And your team won the division title, so congratulations on that. And how are you feeling about this basketball season? With Lola hurt and whatnot, and a smaller roster, I know you're going to take on a bigger role. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of adversities this season, but I still believe in this team, and I believe we can do great things this season.
Demaya, I know, last year you were more of a role player, and I'm sure they're expecting more out of you, and can't turn on social media in the summer without seeing you do something exceptional at an AAU tournament. So, how do you feel stepping in as a year older, second year at Wildwood Catholic? How do you feel, you're going to be able to contribute this year?
Yeah, things are going to be very different, but I'm excited. I think us as a team and with everything we do, we're going to have a great season.
And, how do you feel about the opener? It's Thursday. Your coach probably thinks it's too soon. You probably want it to happen in 10 minutes.
I'm excited, very excited.
I was ready a week. I was ready a week ago, Brian. I'm ready to get rolling.
I got you. Well, I wanted to ask you though, and I didn't ask Kyle this, and I could ask this to every coach. I mean, the weird thing about high school sports these days is that football practice seems to start, when the smoke clears from July 4th fireworks, and then basketball, I just feel like it's a big rush. They jam everything in. You don't get a lot of time to prepare. Certainly not as much as you did years ago. How do you How do you feel about that? I mean, obviously everyone's in the same boat, but what's the challenges involved with that?
For me, it's all about practice planning, being efficient, maximizing every drill that we work on, and getting buy-in from our players and parents during the summer, right? Like our kids play a lot in the summer, so the season becomes more of a tune-up for us.
How enjoyable is it to play in the division that you're in? Because it's almost like every night your division game, you know, you're in for a war that's going to be decided in the fourth quarter for the most part.
Yeah, every night's a battle. You know, having coached at smaller schools in enrollment size, you know, we would have some games where, you know, we could mail in the score, and that's not the case in this league. In this division, it's like playing in the semifinals or finals of the Cal tournament every year. And you have to be prepared. You have to also stay healthy, right? Like stress and physical management as a head coach has become really critical in the last few years, especially with the condensed schedule. I think that's more of the issue going on right now than the quick preseason, the quick pace of the game after game. It's an NBA schedule.
Yeah. And Lily, what would you know? Well, I'll ask you this one since you're the senior. What would the goals be for you? I mean, what do you think you guys can do as a team?
I want to make it really far into the Cal playoffs again and try and win that. And then as far as we can in the South Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of non-public B, I mean, that's a minefield. You got Gloucester Catholic there. Rutgers Prep, believe, is still in your section. I mean, just talk about those challenges. I mean, these are teams that are starting the year ranked in the top 5 in the state.
They're great teams. We've played them all summer long, and you know we're looking forward to the challenge. I got some great players up here on the table, on the podium with me, and got some great players sitting down there, and we're just going to keep getting better every single day and compete with who's ever in front of us.
And speaking of some of those players that are sitting over there, talk about some of them, because obviously some of these younger kids and maybe kids that don't have as much experience are going to play a big role for you, you know, because of Lola being out and you know, you have 3 pretty dynamic players here, but you mentioned earlier, you got to put 5 on the floor. You're going to have a few subs. So talk about some of these other kids that you expect to really help you.
Yeah, so we're expecting big things out of Peyton Hill, Riley Kelso, Lily's sister Juniper, freshman Blake Bernoski, and Sophia Lutz and Abby Vessels. They're Wildwood Catholic basketball players. They put on a basketball uniform. We expect them to know the game, know how to play, and we expect them to go in there and do their job. We've competed well through our scrimmages, and we're looking forward to be the best we can possibly be every single day.
All right, Steve DePatry, the head coach of the Wildwood Catholic girls, and the players Lola McGonigal, Lily King, Danny Daly, Demaya Carter. We wish you nothing but the best of luck this season. And
even on December 23rd, Brian?
Even on December.
You sure about that one?
Even on December 23rd.
Okay.
I wish you the best of luck. Yes.
Catholic, that's right.
Yes. So how about a round of applause? We'll give it for the Wildwood Catholic girls. And we'll be back right after this with our next segment on the Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show. Okay, we continue with the Cape May County High School basketball preview show live from the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood. Thanks for joining us here on Cape Atlantic Live, and we thank the Mudhen for hosting us. And we kicked it off with the two teams from Wildwood Catholic, and now we move into Cape May Tech. And first we have the girls program here, and represented by new head coach Mackenzie Ironside, and two of the players going right to the left of the coach, Emma Aravitz and Kylie DeCola. And we appreciate you ladies being here. Thank you. And well, first of all, Mackenzie, you're new to the area. I know you've coached before, but new to this area. And what have you learned so far about Cape May County basketball?
Very different than, Central PA. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of community around it. Everybody knows everybody. It's a very, very small county. Everybody's very connected. So I'm learning a lot quickly.
This is a team that, the previous coach, Dan Loesch, who moved over to the boys, he really did a nice job took them from, a pretty low point and got them to the point where last year, I believe the program won the most in program history in winning 14 games, and I believe won a game in the Cape Atlantic League tournament. So, but a lot of those kids have graduated. So what's the challenge here for you?
Yeah, Dan did a really great job with the program. We're at a great spot right now. We did lose a lot of leadership, a lot of talent in that group that graduated, but we're bringing in a lot of young kids. It's a great time for the program because we are rebuilding, working on those fundamentals, starting, from the ground up, which is helpful for building the program. And that's really what we're looking to do, where we're starting fresh with a new coach and lots of freshmen. We have great leaders. That's why these two are up here with me. And they've done a great job of continuing to keep the culture that Dan started for the program. And we're going to continue to make it a program that Cape Tech is proud of.
So talk about these two ladies here. I mean, Emma has some, Emma, I believe you started most of the games last year, right? Or no?
Yeah, I was just injured.
Right. Okay. So, talk about Kylie and Emma, because you brought them here for a reason. They got to be two of your leaders.
Yeah, they are both great communicators. They bring great atmosphere into the gym. Kylie's a senior. She didn't get a ton of time last year on the main court, but I know she learned a lot last year. She came into the season with a great attitude. She's done a great job leading the young girls to make them feel confident being out on the court. Emma is a little bit of a spitfire. She brings the most energy in the gym for sure. We can count on her to, get the girls excited, whether that's in practice or at our scrimmage. She did a great job of, setting the tone for being confident on the floor, looking to score. She's a great competitor.
So Kylie, let's ask you this: you got to watch. Your teammates have a pretty nice year for the program last season. So, what did you learn by watching that? Now you're going to step into a bigger role here.
I learned a lot about how they all held up with one another. They all communicated well, and they all got along with each other and made the team build up, and we all learned from that.
And how have the practices been?
The practice has been well. You can definitely tell that everyone is trying to be there, trying to do their best, and you could definitely see improvement in anyone who keeps going there.
All right, so Emma, let's go to you. I know that your mom was a pretty good high school player. Your family all played, in high school, and so I know you probably understand what Cape May County basketball is about. I mean, you probably got it from when you were a little girl. So talk about that.
Well, I've played basketball since I was in third grade, and I don't know, my mom was always my coach for everything, so she taught me how to try and improve to be better and everything.
What now that a lot of those seniors from last year are gone, and you're one of the ones with the most experience, even though you're still just a junior, right? So how do you feel like that changes your role a little bit for this year?
Well, with all those seniors, they were more leaders on the court because they've been there the longest, and they played longer than all of us. But this year, I think me playing all 3 years varsity starting, it helps me help the younger girls learn and be like more confident and like help them on the court since it's a rebuilding year for us.
So, Coach, what would you say goals are this year? I mean, this is obviously almost a new team, and obviously you're coming in as a new coach. So, what would you say your goals are going into the season here?
The main goal is to get girls to love basketball. I think the art of loving your sport is kind of lost on kids today. When I was in high school, I loved to be in the gym. I always wanted to be in the gym. The season was never long enough as an athlete. And I think the minds have shifted in a lot of kids. So our main goal as coaches this year is to make these girls love basketball, and have them understand what it's like to build the team culture, the team chemistry, but also be excited to have a gym full of people. Most of them are nervous about the thought of spectators being in the gym, but we want them to want people to be in the gym, and we want the community to want to be there to watch them as well.
You told me you have 13 players in the program. That could get a little dicey. How important is it though for you to really try to have the full junior varsity to get those younger kids experience?
Yeah, a varsity game is really fast paced, and bringing in a lot of freshmen. Some of them haven't touched a basketball in a long time. So having that JV team is going to be really crucial for them to understand that the pace of the game is very different than rec league basketball. And I think it's that building the confidence for them as well. Just getting them minutes on the court is going to be, invaluable to them. We do have a lot of freshmen that are going to step up in a large way for the varsity team, though. So it's an all around culture thing.
So why don't you talk about some of those other players? Obviously, Kylie and Emma are going to be two of your key players, but you're going to have some other kids step up for you as well. So talk about them.
Yeah. Sam is going to be Sam Cabral. I think that's how you say it. She's a freshman. She is a baller. She's got that confidence of a freshman though. So we have to, increase that. We got to get her more comfortable on the floor. But I do believe she's going to be really crucial to us. We also bring a senior, Haley. She wasn't with the program last year, but, she's going to be really helpful for helping the girls to understand basketball. She's got some pretty solid basketball knowledge, from some of her experience, in 9th and 10th grade. She stepped away for a little while, but she's coming back with a really positive attitude. And I think she's going to be really helpful to the team as well.
Okay. All right. So listen, we appreciate you guys coming here, and best of luck this. You start when's your first game?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow against
Salem Tech.
Salem Tech. So so best of luck in that one, and see if you can get a victory in game number 1. So Kylie DeCola, Emma Ravitz, and Coach Mackenzie Ironside, the Cape May Tech girls basketball program. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll be back on the other side with the Cape May Tech boys. This is the Cape May County High School basketball preview show live at the Mudhen. We'll be right back. Back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood for the Cape May County High School basketball preview show. And we move along now with the Cape May Tech boys. So it's head coach Dan Loesch, and he brought assistant coach Ray Brown and two of his players, Edian Velez and Paul Simmerman. So we appreciate you guys being here. The green and white of Cape May Tech. A little gold mixed in as well, I know.
Got to get rid of the yellow. We don't.
Yeah, so Coach, a little different for you. Coached the girls for 3 years and did a nice job getting them to the point where they were last year, and now switching over to the boys. So just talk about that whole experience there of going from coaching girls for 3 years and now you're with the boys program.
Well, yeah, it definitely has been different for sure. Just being in the gym, dealing with boys. Their interaction with them is a little bit different, obviously, because they're boys. Even though I love coaching the girls, both programs are phenomenal programs, and I miss coaching the girls, and I'll always miss coaching them. They were my first coaching job down here, but I do enjoy being with the boys right now. It's just a different experience, and I can actually get on the floor and actually compete with them myself. So.
I know one of the things you're very happy about, this is a program last year that didn't have a junior varsity team because of low numbers, but your numbers now are through the roof, and you got to be really happy with that to have so many kids interested in playing.
Yeah, we are. We're extremely happy. We originally had almost 40 boys originally sign up. We ended up with about 30 at tryouts, and we're down to about 25 or 26 right now. With that being said, those extra boys, are very young. We have a lot of freshmen. Of our 26 kids on our current roster, 14 are freshmen. Though we're not going to have a very deep varsity bench, we're going to be counting on some of those younger freshmen to come out and help. And the benefit with those young kids is most of them are from the same school. A lot of those kids came from that Dennis Woodbine area, so a lot of them are used to playing with each other. So while our focus, obviously my focus is varsity, to make sure we do what we have to do. Coach Brown's done a very good job with those younger kids too, to make sure they're ready to play JV and also ready to help out on a varsity level if need be.
All right, so why don't you talk about these two gentlemen here? I know they're going to be a couple of your leaders. I know Paul played a lot of minutes last year. So just talk about Edian and Paul.
Yeah, they're both tremendous basketball players, and we're going to be dependent on both of them a lot. Again, our bench, is going to be very short on the varsity level, so. Both of these gentlemen are going to play a significant amount of minutes. Both very good players who can play either big or guards, which is very benefit to us. We don't have a very big team, so Paul's probably actually our biggest guy on the team right now as far as height goes. So we're going to be expecting him to be in the paint with some of these bigger teams that we're fighting and really banging around down there. And in Edian, he's a coach's dream because we can put him anywhere on the floor and he can play any position.
So, Paul, let's ask you, because, you played a lot of minutes last year, for a team that only won one game. So, how, it had to be difficult sometimes to stay motivated, but what kind of kept you going, so to speak?
I mean, I just really loved the game. The chemistry that we had was good. We all loved playing together, even though we didn't have the record to show for how much we tried. We put effort in every game, every practice. And that just kept us going. We just wanted to keep pushing and play as much as we could throughout.
And with having the much higher numbers in the gym for practice so far this year, how much of a difference has that made?
It's a huge difference. The amount of young talent that we have, the amount of old talent that we have, all of it combines together and just makes for a better atmosphere and better team in general.
Edian, let's go to you. What just tell us how you think the preseason's been going and how the team looks.
I feel like it's going really good. Our team looks very good. We have a lot of young guys. They can take up the roles to being a varsity maybe next year or 2 years from now.
Ray, you were in the program last year as an assistant. So, what do you see as the difference here, especially when you have, that many kids out that you guys get to coach?
Well, with the increase in numbers, it's been the competition aspect for sure. Instead of running 12 guys, we're running 25. And you can definitely see who's hungry for it and, who wants to be on the one half of the gym with Dan and who still needs to put the work in. But you can tell that they're all hungry for it.
So Dan, what would you say goals are here? I guess there's some programs and some coaches that don't necessarily like how the Cape Atlantic League aligns. But it probably helps a program like yours because you're going to play teams that are kind of in a similar, for the most part, similar situation that you're in, rebuilding and so to speak. So how do you feel like you fit in that division in the United Conference, and what would your goals be there?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a very competitive season down there. Not just there's teams we can compete down there. There are some teams that are rebuilding as well with us. But even outside of our Cape Atlantic schedule, we've also made sure we put a schedule together that helps us develop and build our program. And teams that we can actually compete with, not just in the Cape Atlantic or in our division, but on the state level as well when that time comes.
And what do you see? What do you see from a culture standpoint? As you're moving in as a first year coach, what do you see as a culture among what you have here with the kids you have in your program?
Well, I think the culture is there are kids who are determined to win. And I know, at Cape May Tech, we don't always get it's sometimes we're always looked at, we're paying Cape May Tech, it's an easy win. And we're just trying to change that culture with these kids. And, as coaches, we're also realistic. We know we're not going to change everything at once. But if these kids can just come into the gym and they can just win one day at a time and not worry about who believes in them, if they just believe in themselves and each other, I think we're, on a great journey here starting tomorrow.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about some of the other guys that, you said you're not going to be very deep at the varsity level, but talk about some of the other guys that you expect to help.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of juniors this year, which is really going to help our program. Logan Veras, who's out there, Teague Ludeman, Jeziel Moyel, Chase Ogden, Chase Ilione. These kids are going to be very beneficial to our program this year. Chase and Jay didn't play last year, but they played a lot with these kids in the past, so the chemistry is there. Plus, we also have two freshmen right now that, as of starting tomorrow, we're going to really depend on these kids to step up and play. Tristan Blakesley, right? Tristan Blakesley and Jaden Arky are going to have to really step in and take some numbers on for us when kids need rest or if we get in some foul trouble here.
You talked about the schedule, and one of those is tomorrow in your opener in Salem Tech. That's a team you should be able to compete with. So how important, how big would it be if you can go out there and win that first one?
Yeah, I think it's really big. I think, if we can go out tomorrow night and get a win, it immediately takes that pressure off the boys right away to just move on and go into the season on a positive note and understand that, they can win basketball games. They can compete with everyone. And they can go out and we can go out and we can score points. It's just we just have to be consistent in doing that.
Okay. All right. Dan Loesch, his assistant Ray Brown, and two of the players, Adion Velez and Paul Simmerman. We appreciate you guys being here. And how about a round of applause for Cape May Tech? We wish them the best of luck.
Thank you.
And we will come back on the other side with Ocean City, Cape May County High School basketball preview show. We'll be right back. Thank you. All right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood. I'm Brian Kniff, Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show here on Cape Atlantic Live. We appreciate everyone coming out. And as we move the program along here, we now have the girls team from Ocean City, represented by Coach Trish Henry and three of the players, Scarlett Fletcher, Gabby Henry, and Kaya Chu. Ladies, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming down. It's a little bit of a ride from the Ocean City area. I get it. So, Trish, 14-14 last year. Tell us, how you think your preseason's gone and how things are looking so far.
I mean, each and every day we're just trying to get better, work hard. Conditioning's a thing that everybody's, up against. So we're just doing the best we can.
How do you feel like you stack up in this division? It seems that the Cape Atlantic League, as most people know, maybe some people don't, it's kind of like a three-tiered system. In theory, the top teams are in the one conference, middle of the road, and then rebuilding or whatever. But it almost seems like that middle conference that you're in is maybe a little more competitive than people think. So, how do you feel like you stack up with those teams that are in there with you?
Well, I mean, I think until we actually get started, all teams have lost some leadership with their seniors graduating. So I think until Thursday comes around for us, we really don't have an idea. We're just going to do our best and hope that we each and every day get better. That's our goal.
Scarlett, let's talk about how things are going and what are your goals and for the season and how you think you're going to play.
This year we have a lot of seniors that we've been all playing together since we were little. We are very athletic. We have a lot of runners on the team, and I think we're just going to try to have fun this year, definitely, and do the best we can.
Ocean City with runners on a team. That's shocking. Gabby, I know, you've always been, since you've been in the program, one of the better defensive players. And I would imagine, though, that this year you're scoring, you're going to probably try to step up in that area. So how do you feel about, where you are and what you can bring to the team this year?
I feel I've definitely put in a lot of work over the summer, more than most people thought, with also doing cross country. But I've really wanted to work on my shooting, mainly my threes, and more of my mid-range. And I feel like if I can hit at least a few shots a game, I feel like that will give our team more momentum, especially with my defense. And I feel like that's the big goal, is that we need to score more, definitely as a team. And I feel like that will be a good. Yeah.
So Kaya, this is a group that, I'm looking at your stats now, and there's a lot of you returning that, maybe averaged in that 5 points per game, and now I would imagine that all of you are hoping you can do a little bit more. How do you feel like you're set up in terms of, maybe where you were last season going into this season? How do you feel about where things stand right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've all been working hard together as a team. I mean, we've been playing together since forever. So we all know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we've just been playing together forever. So I feel like it gets better every year.
So Trish, last year you had, maybe the best rebounder in the league in Naomi. How do you make that up? Because obviously she's moved on, a great soccer player, but really helped your program as well. And especially Scarlett, I'm sure, and some of your other forwards are going to have to step up in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, losing a Division I athlete is it's really tough to replace, but it was more her leadership. She was a kid that could see plays before they actually happened. So they're working on it, but it's something that, it takes time. And Naomi just had a knack for knowing where to be, especially around the basketball, as you guys know.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about these three? I mean, obviously they're three of your leaders. That's why they're here. So, just tell us what each of them brings to your team.
I mean, I've actually been coaching them since 6th grade. The only year we weren't together was when they were 9th graders. Mm-hmm. So the one thing I can tell you this is these kids, they don't quit. They're just going to play hard from the time we jump the ball to the time, the buzzer sounds to end the game. They're a very unselfish group. It's kind of to a fault, because they're always wanting somebody else, to get the points, get the accolades. There's never been jealousy. It's just team first. And they really take pride in representing the high school, and they're just really, really good human beings.
And talk about a couple of the other kids, because I know there's plenty more that are going to help your varsity. So why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, Allie Hudson, she's senior as well. She's was unable to be here tonight, but she's a catalyst on the defensive end. Marley Ostrander is just a freak athlete. Her size and her athleticism. She's clearly lacrosse first, but she's an unbelievable basketball player. Just super humble kid. And then we have Casey Adamson and Cece Mursky. So they got some quality minutes last year. They're juniors, so we look forward to them stepping up their game. And we added 2 freshmen to the program, so we're excited to see what they can do.
When you look at your program, as it compares to the others at Ocean City, it just seems like there's a standard of excellence across all your sports, and it seems like the kids, whatever sport it would be, rise to the occasion to kind of live up to that standard. I mean, I'm sure you see that in your basketball program as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that Ocean City Athletics has gone through the years is it's just you want to represent the people that came before you. So we added like somebody like Abby Fenton to our staff, and she's an unbelievable person. She brings energy, as I call it, young blood to the program. And these guys appreciate everything that she did, and they just kind of hold themselves to a higher standard because they don't want to like let somebody down. And at times it's good, but at times it can wear on you.
And your opener is
we are at Vineland on Thursday.
Vineland on Thursday. How do you feel about that matchup? That's the first one, so I'm sure that's the one you're really looking at.
I mean, to be honest, like nobody knows what's going to happen.
Right.
As far as it's the first game, it's the jitters. Officials that are there, they're locked in. We're locked in as coaches. So we're just going to go out and we're going to play hard. We're going to hope for the best. Just come out of the game knowing that we gave it our all. That's always our goal.
All right, well, ladies, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Good luck this year. This is Trish Henry, the coach of Ocean City, with Scarlett Fletcher, Gabby Henry, and Kaya Chu. Ladies, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, and we'll come back on the other side with the Ocean City boys. This is the Cape May County High School preview show live.
I don't know. It's a movie.
All right, back live at the Station House at the Mudhen Brewing Company. Cape May County High School basketball preview show continues, and we bring on the Ocean City boys coming off a terrific season, a South Jersey championship, and they bring a lot of their players back, and some of those players are here with Coach John Bruno. And then to his left, it's Ty Olick, Luke Jumacaris. I think I said that right, Luke?
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
And Dean Lappin. So we appreciate you guys being here. And first off, John, you've been around long enough. There's so many people telling you how good you're going to be this year. So how do you kind of force that or talk about that with your team, saying that last year's over, even though you're all back, nothing's giving to you just yet. Nothing's been given to you.
I think that was pretty good right there.
Okay.
The bottom line is that you're not bringing back the same team. Ben McGonigal was a pretty vital part of our team. It's great that those guys all got the experience to do that. So your expectations should be okay, but it's high school basketball, and the division that we're in is tough. The teams that we play are tough. So I don't think there's anything you can take for granted, regardless. Like a lot of times when they rank the teams in football from last year, that doesn't really show you the team you are. So, but we'll work hard. We'll see. We'll play every game hard. It's what we try to do every year.
All right, so talk about these guys here. Luke and Ty, you were both starters last year, right? and then Dean came off the bench. But obviously, you got three pretty experienced guys here, and some other experienced guys as well. But first, talk about these three.
Dean was kind of like a sixth starter, really.
Right.
You know, actually in that state semifinal game, Ben got hurt very early. Dean stepped in, and we didn't really miss a beat, and came close to winning that game. But these are the three guys that I think are leaders. These are the kids look up to. They play hard. They don't say very much. Luke has some questions every once in a while that we have trouble answering, but other than that, their attitude is really, really what keeps us going.
Ty, what's it been like in the gym this year? You know, when you come back having won a South Jersey and all the guy and a lot of the guys are back. You know, how competitive have the practice has been and the workouts and whatnot? Speak to that.
You know, we have 8 seniors coming back this year, so in the gym, it's a lot of energy, a lot of competitive in practice. Everyone just getting ready to go, getting ready for Tuesday.
Luke, you know, let's talk about last year. I mean, that was a terrific run. I mean, I know you had a couple comeback wins in that run to South Jersey and winning the title. I mean, what was that like, and what do you carry from that into this season?
Sorry. I think we carry a lot. I think it's really nice to have a run like that under our belts. Like you said, a lot of the comebacks, we know that when we go down, we can never falter. We know what it's like to come back. We know what it takes. Going to the state semifinal, seeing teams play at that caliber, seeing how we played at the end of the season. I think it's really important coming into this season, knowing we have to play hard and knowing how we have to play to be able to win at the same level.
Dean, your division's tough. Yeah, you got some good teams in there. You know, Middle Township, St. Augustine Prep, Atlantic City, some others. Yeah, how do you feel like you fit in there as a team in terms of your conference?
Yeah, I feel like the Cal, it's really competitive league. I feel like there's no really dominant team that's like so much better than the others. So I definitely like last year, it's going to be a competitive league, and no, the team's really going to dominate others.
So, Coach, talk about some of the other guys that are going to help you, because you have some other really good players back as well, and some depth pieces coming off the bench that are going to help you too.
It probably comes down to that the kids that were the depth pieces last year have to kind of step up. Alec Bell is one of them. He's a guard. He'll probably take that spot that Ben had as far as in that group, and you know, a couple other guys, Chris Ponteri, Liam Zittner, and Luke Passarella, and I guess we got a new kid, Kevin Entress, came in from Atlantic City. Nice little player. So the bottom line becomes they're all going to have to contribute, whether it be at practice or in the games as we go along. And for the record, we've never mentioned South Jersey title since day one. So it's a new year, new team, whole new attitude.
Do you feel like when you have an experienced group like this, do you feel like, and I know the preseason is just so short these days, but you know, are you maybe a little further ahead than maybe some years when you're not as experienced?
No doubt about it, because you know, Ryan Gill, who's our assistant, is really a sharp basketball mind, and he's got these guys almost to the point where they think on the court like coaches. What we've had to do, we don't have to run over and over. You tell them once, they've learned it. They learned it last year. 2 years ago when we made it to the South Jersey final, they were the scout team for Cherry Hill West, who ran a very complicated offense. So he would show it to them once, and they would run the set. And they've been running it all year long. So one of the things that these guys are, they're a very intelligent group. We may not be, I don't think, the most natural basketball players as everybody else, but I don't think anybody will be smarter than us. But we do play very hard, and that's what really carries people. And there's some skill in there too. I heard him chuckle. There is some skill too, but I'm saying that's not what we rely on.
So Luke, what would you say is talk about the culture of your program and your team? I mean, it seems like you guys have a really good culture in your program, and how important is that?
I think, me personally, I think it's one of the most important things. I know that 4 of our 5 starters came from the same travel team that we've been playing together our whole lives. Like, we all hang out on the weekends. We're all like just best friends with each other, and I think that's the most important thing. So when you get in those tough situations where maybe you're down 20 or you're down 10, and it's an important game, you can always rely on, like, you know that everybody has each other's backs, and it's really easy to be able to come back from.
Dean, your adjustment here, because you know you might be going from playing, say, 10, 12 minutes a game to maybe now playing 28. So what's that adjustment for you?
I feel like last year I got the experience though, being in those like the playoff games and getting that experience in the playoff run. So, you yeah, just definitely getting that experience.
Ty, I want to ask you I asked this question to the girls as well. And using the word culture, but there's a culture of winning across all the sports at Ocean City. So how important is it for you guys almost to look at it as we have to hold up our end? All our other teams are do well, and talk about that. About how you fit in the athletic program at the school.
Yeah, looking around, we got friends in the school that are winning. We just want to keep that standard high, not be the letdown, just keep high. But even if we don't win, just getting better each day and working to that end goal of where we got last year or even farther.
John, talk about how do you see the league? It seems like there's a lot of uncertainty now. There's for better or for worse, there's a lot of player movement. But your division certainly gets you ready for what's to come at the end. Just talk about the league.
I think, Ron, I think every year I say that if our league is as tough as it is, that helps you for the playoffs. So you've got St. Augustine will be much better, of course. Middle Township year in and year out. Atlantic City's now in our division. Wildwood Catholic. Don't sleep on them. Playing in that gym is never going to be easy. So that's another good experience you get to have. So the bottom line is, I think the league overall is very good. But I also say that we're always very competitive. We may not have our fill of Division I players, but we always have a situation where you're going to be competitive night in and night out. And that's what you're really looking for.
Okay, so all right, we appreciate you guys coming on. Dean Lappin all the way down the end, and Luke Jumakaris, Ty Olick, head coach John Bruno, and
I like to close with the one thing
Go
I
ahead.
do like about most of these teams that we've had that are successful is they like to do a lot of things together. The only problem we have sometimes is my wife and I wanted to go out to Applebee's the other day after practice, and guess who showed up at Applebee's?
The whole team?
But there were 12.
Right.
That's my point. The fact that it wasn't
Coach
two or
pick up
three
the
of
tab.
We tried to send him a little cupcake at the end of the night, but he wouldn't let us.
He didn't take it.
Brian, I also want to thank you for what you do, and Matt for setting all this stuff up. And it is something up here to walk up here and not see Buddy here. So
It is. Thank you. And I think about that all the time, and I appreciate you bringing that up. All right, the Ocean City boys, we appreciate it. Best of luck this year, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on. All right, we'll keep the show moving. We'll come back right after this Cape May County High School basketball preview show live at the Mudhen Station House here in Wildwood. We'll be right back. All right, back live at the Mudhen Brewing Company, the Station House, here in beautiful downtown Wildwood, as our Cape May County High School basketball preview show moves along. We have the Lower Cape May girls with us here. Scott Douglas, the head coach, and for the players, Ainsley Reed, Brooke Robinson, Meredith Lutchen, and Savannah Wareham. So, ladies, thanks for being here. I never have to I never have to drag your coach out. He's usually pretty game, but thanks for coming. And best of luck this year before we get going. So, Coach, coming off an 8-win season last year, but you've said to me on numerous occasions so far that you really like the energy in your gym right now, and what you have and what you've been building. So, talk about that.
Yeah, the numbers are a little low this year. But I tell the girls after each practice that the 13 girls we have in the gym right now, I love. They come in, they're ready to work. It's a little different, with some of the people we brought back, some of the people we brought in as young girls, one transfer. It's a good mix of 5-on-5 basketball when we can go to it. And that's what I enjoy the most.
Okay, so talk about some of these players here. I know Ainsley's a kid that can knock down some outside shots. Brooke's probably your best, inside option, and Meredith and Savannah are contributors. So talk about these four that you brought with you here today.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of pretty much set it up. Meredith's pretty much our team shooter here. Savannah has the ball in her hand, at the point 95% of the time. Brooke is probably, or is one of our better or best offensive options. And, being the biggest person we pretty much have on our team. And then Ainsley's probably one of the smartest basketball players that we've coached. She understands the game. And I believe she's gotten better every year. So,
where do you see yourself fitting in that division that you're in? I talked about it with Trish Henry of Ocean City. I think that people look at it as, it's the middle division, but it seems like there's some pretty good teams in that division. So how do you feel like you're going to compete there?
Well, I think we're hoping just to come out and compete for 4 quarters. Even though we only had 8 wins last year. I tell the girls all the time, we had a 1-point loss to Ocean City. We had an overtime loss to Vineland. We were down 6 going into the 4th quarter against Egg Harbor. So that was 3 of the better teams in our division. And we were there. We just never put 4 quarters together in those types of games. And, we're hoping that we can do that this year. And I believe it'll be more wins. And if it's not, it'll be a lot more competitive, for a whole game.
Ainsley, what do you see? You're the senior. You've been around for a while. So what do you see out of this group and your practices and scrimmages so far?
I'm excited for this year. We have a lot more energy in the gym with some of the younger girls. We're able to just be faster on and off the ball within our plays and our defense.
Okay. Brooke, I guess you're probably, you and Ainsley, I guess, but there's you're going to be counted on to score a lot. And I know you've worked on your game over the summer and everything else. How do you feel about where you are at the start of the season here?
I mean, I feel good. I think just working this summer, playing AAU, it kind of helped me and helped me want to help my teammates this year. And I think we'll be a lot better and we'll be able to work together as a group. Like Ainsley said, we're a lot faster, more athletic. So I think overall it'll be a better year.
Okay, so Meredith, first of all, congratulations on your soccer season.
Thank you.
I think you're second all time in shutouts and saves or whatever it might be, and you only played goalie for 3 years, so congratulations on that. What do you see as you transition now from soccer to basketball, go from one sport to the next? What do you see in this team?
I think we all work hard every practice. Everyone gives 100% effort, and I think we are going to be a lot faster this year and on and off the ball, like Ainsley said.
Savannah, now that you've played a full year of varsity last year. How do you feel? You feel talk about your comfort level, so to speak, going into the season, and maybe the comfort level of the team. You look like you have a little more experience as a group too.
I feel like last year I definitely like made me get more comfortable this year, and I feel like with a group of girls, they definitely like pushed me to keep like getting better at each practice and to just keep giving 100% effort.
So, Coach, talk about some of the other kids that are going to help you out, because I know it seems like you're a little deeper maybe than you were in the past. You got a couple freshmen that I think are going to help you out. So, talk about some of the other kids that you expect to help.
Yeah. So, besides these four, we're going to have probably 2 or 3 freshmen that are going to get some minutes for us. Avery Hanson, Aubrey Gamble, Abby Verity. And then we have a couple sophomores, Lex Dominowski, Reagan Notch. They're gonna help out a lot. I'd also like to kind of bring up. We have a girl over the table there, Nuran Mustafa, who she doesn't get a lot of varsity time, but she's been in the program 4 years. Shows up every day. And I know there's a lot of other teams that have girls like that or boys on their team, and they don't get a lot of recognition. So hope for the best for her. And we also have Vada Vitelli will step in when she's eligible, and she will help out. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anybody. Brian puts me on the spot sometimes. You go down the names and stuff. But like I said, the 13 girls every day in practice work hard, and we can, throw this girl in at one time, this girl, and it's not a drop off. And, that's what I appreciate the most.
Now, you don't open till next Saturday. Is that true? Or do you have a game?
Yeah, so we took it like maybe more practices would help us out this year. We still have one scrimmage on Tuesday. And then we open up Saturday at Barnegat. I like this. Can I say one other thing?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to say 2 other things. Thanks for having us, and it's a great thing that you do. And then two of my former players lost their father this week unexpectedly. Karina Raymond and Georgie Raymond. So, we just want to make sure they know that we're thinking about them.
Certainly. No, definitely. You've been at this for a few years now. You did it before, stepped away, came back. And you mentioned some of these freshmen that are going to play a little bit. You have to like the direction that you're trending in, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's nice when we brought, I think, like I said, the numbers are low. We're not a big program that brings 20 freshmen in like a lot of teams, but the 4 freshmen that we have on this team can step in and play, and with the sophomores and maybe some of the 8th graders coming in, I think it's a bright future.
And how do you feel like you fit in your division? I would imagine that you're hoping you can be a lot more competitive there this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the goal is just to go out and compete every game. If we win them, that's great. If we lose them, at least we come off and know that team knew that we battled them. And we did that a lot last year. We didn't come up with the wins. So hopefully experience, I think, from those games will help us this year. And hopefully those close games can go our way now.
Okay. All right, well, we appreciate you guys being here again, and best of luck this season. So head coach Scott Douglas and the players Ainsley Reed, Brooke Robinson, Meredith Lufchin, and Savannah Wareham, we wish you nothing but the best and good luck. The Lower Cape May girls, and we wish them the best of luck for the 25-26 season, and we'll be right back with the Lower Cape May boys right after this on Cape Atlantic Live. All right, thanks, girl. All right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood. I'm Brian Kniff, Cape May County High School basketball preview show as we move along. And we now have the boys team from Lower Cape May here, represented by head coach Scott Holden. And then their three returning starting guards, John Fernandez, Ty Bonner, and Ryan Mallon. And we appreciate you guys being here. And so, Coach, first of all, why don't you just, give us a little rundown how you think the preseason's going so far?
So far, I think we've had some really good scrimmages. We had Vineland, then we had St. Joe's, and then we had a quad yesterday. It in all the scrimmages, it was helping us out with a couple teams doing zone, things that we need to see before the season starts Tuesday.
Speaking of which, it's almost a little, and it's probably preferable, but a lot of times you don't start the season with a non-league game, but you're doing that. You're playing a Glassboro team that was pretty good last year. I mean, they had an eventual South Jersey champion beaten in a playoff game until they hit a half court shot. So it's going to be a pretty good challenge opening night, isn't it?
Yeah, it opened up. The last 2 years, they gave us a bye the first week to Cal, and it's kind of messed things up. Luckily, Glassboro was available, so we definitely took that, and I do have a lot of respect for. They did finish very well last year.
All right, talk about these three guys and how enjoyable it is to have this kind of experience back. A couple of seniors and a junior, all of whom started last year. Ty's already 1,000-point scorer, so talk about what they have, and of course John's coming off a great football season, as is Ryan. Talk about just these three guys and what they bring to your program.
Well, it's just that they're absolutely the leadership, the experience, and in high school basketball to have three very good guards is extremely nice to have. So they know they love to play together. They work well together. It's definitely a blessing to have these three.
And let's talk about some of the other kids. I know one of the challenges is the fact that the tallest person in the gym at practice is you, I think, right? Do you have a player that's 6'3" or taller? I don't think you do, right?
If I stretch out, I think I'm the tallest.
So, talk about some of the other guys and some of these kids are going to have to step up for you.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, the biggest thing I'm finding in these scrimmages is not so much guys stepping in as much as guys knowing how we do things. Very much so. I mean, all teams will say this, but sometimes I feel like, we need whatever five is on the floor, they have to absolutely be in sync, especially with these three. So we're working with that. I've had the biggest practice as far as number of kids at a practice I've ever had. And there's, I want competition for places. That can only help the team get better.
John, what do you see? When you and Ryan and Ty come back and having been playing together for a couple of years now. I mean, what are the advantages of that as you go into the season?
I mean, the chemistry's always been there. We've been playing together for 6 years now, so I mean, it's always been there. We take pride in our defense, definitely, and we just work together.
Ty, going into the season here, last year you guys played, 15 and 12, but a lot of those losses were very competitive. Your schedule's kind of tough. I mean, just talk about, playing basketball at Lower Cape May and facing the schedule that you face and the challenges that it brings.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We have a tough schedule again this year, but we just have to finish games in the fourth quarter, which we didn't do well last year.
That was going to be the question I was going to ask Ryan. There were quite a few games last year. You guys just didn't. You guys would look great for 28 minutes, and then not so great for 4, and sometimes it costs you games. So, do you feel like you're in a better spot in that regard going into this season?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we work harder at practice. And I feel like we really are just gonna do good.
Talk about your.
I'm just glad you didn't blame me.
Well, talk about where you feel like you fit in your conference, because it's it's that so-called middle division, so to speak. But there's some really good teams in that division. You have You have Cedar Creek. You have Egg Harbor Township's got a legend coming in to coach, and Joe Kessler, and some of these other teams in that league are pretty darn good, aren't they?
Absolutely. We split 5 games last year with, there's only 6 other opponents in the conference. So
right,
we split 5 of them. So it just shows you how tough it is. We want to, of course, improve upon that as we've brought up the late fourth quarter, hold on, put people down. That's come out with a W.
I know that you probably have enough talent and experience in most years that you could maybe say we could make a pretty deep playoff run, but you're in Group 2. It's so tough. It's you got Camden, you have Middle Township, you have Haddonfield. So I mean, how special would it be if you can find the right seeding and maybe get in there and do some damage.
I'm going to just worry about Tuesday. But yes, obviously, what side of the bracket you're on and everything else. But, a lot of years we end up playing Haddonfield or Camden. So
right,
it just is what it is.
Ty, do you feel like, coaches will I said this earlier, but coaches would probably like another 10 days of practice. But, do you guys feel as players that you're ready to go for Tuesday?
Yeah. I mean, we had scrimmages. I feel we're ready to go.
Ryan, being the younger one of these two, of these three anyway, and how do you feel like these guys, I'm sure you look at them as the leaders, don't you? Yeah. I mean, what do they bring to your team that helps you guys out?
They really just bring a lot of energy. They make the whole team feel a part, and yeah.
John, because of the issues that we brought up with size, I know you did a lot of it last year, but how important is it for you guys, even though you're undersized as guards, to be able to get on the glass and rebound?
I mean, yeah, that's really been the focus of things recently. And honestly, always, we know offense, we always crash the boards. Defensively, we just know to box out. And we're competitors, so we're just going to try to win.
And Scott, what about talk about some of the other individuals that you think are going to be in your mix and are going to help your team out this year?
Again, the one guy that had the most experience coming back would be Cole Cederland. And then after that, like I said, I got this mix. We have Joey Wareham finally came home where he belongs. And we got other guys that are in the mix that just need to keep coming to practice every day to compete.
What would you? I know you've talked about this before that you'd almost rather go 15-12 and play really good teams than maybe win 20 games and have a bunch of blowouts. So, what would your goals be for the season in terms of? I mean, I know you don't want to put a number of wins on it or whatever, but how would you want your team to be playing and what opponents will get when you walk on the floor against them?
Yeah, we certainly want to compete, obviously, in our division, in the Cal tournament, the state tournament. We just need to take that extra step, and I think that could create more wins for us.
Okay. All right, so the players and coach from Lower Cape May, Scott Holden, John Fernandez, Ty Bonner, and Ryan Mallon, we appreciate you guys being here. And good luck the rest of the year. We're a little ahead of schedule, but we will come back shortly with Middle Township, the Cape May County High School basketball preview show as we roll it along here from the station house at the Mudhen. We'll be back in a little bit.
I wake up. No, my mom just had it in my face.
All right, back live at the Station House at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood for the Cape May County High School basketball preview show as we continue on and we bring on the some of the players and the head coach, John Leahy, from the Middle Township girls program. We have Reagan Powell and Abby Capoletti and Sarah Farrow, 3 seniors and a pretty dynamite trio looking to lead this Middle Township team to more success to try to build on what they did last year. So first of all, Coach, let's talk about last year. I mean, short of winning a state title, to come out of it with a Cape Atlantic League playoff title and another South Jersey title, I mean, it had to be one of the most enjoyable experiences for you in all the years you've coached.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we went in
A little further. There we go. Okay.
we went in obviously with a goal of three-peat, last year. We talked about that the whole off season. And the kids just continued to work and continued to get better as we went. We had a few ups and downs, but not too many. But yeah, and then to be able to win a South Jersey title on your home floor is just tremendous, and for our kids to experience that. And to me, the cow was kind of a bonus, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, it was a special season. Obviously, going into this year, we're gonna miss Ken's and Iz. They were huge contributors, but yeah, last year was certainly special.
Let's talk about these 3 because not only are they really good, experienced players, but they all kind of bring something different. They're certainly not similar players. I mean, you have inch for inch. And I'll embarrass her, but inch for inch, probably one of the greatest rebounders in Cape Atlantic League girls history down there in Sarah. And then you have a point guard and a 3-point shooter in Abby, and then Reagan's just a kid that can fill it up and fill the stat sheet in a lot of a variety of ways. But just talk about having these 3 and all the different things they bring to your team.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're going to lean on them. They're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting this year, and I know that they're capable of it. But it's nice, like you mentioned, they all kind of contribute in different ways. And really, the 3 of them just want to try to impact the game as much as they can. I think, maybe the best thing I could say about all 3 of them is not only have they gotten better every year, but I kind of feel like they've become better teammates every year, which is great. And that's kind of, a responsibility that they're going to have big time this year as our 3 captains in terms of bringing everybody else up, helping everybody else kind of adjust to new roles and that type of thing. But yeah, certainly, again, the 3 of them are working their tails off. And, when you have an opportunity to win 4 South Jersey titles, in your career, I haven't given any motivational speeches. Let's put it that way. Like, I mean, I think these 3, and our group have their eyes on the prize, and that's number 4. And then to try to take it a step further and get to a state final.
Talk about some of the other kids that you expect to contribute, because you mentioned a couple that you lost in Izzy and Ken's, but you have some other kids that have a little bit of experience. And talk about how talk about some of them and how they're going to fill in for you.
Yeah, I mean, we talked in the beginning of the year, and I mean, I really feel like we have 10 kids that can contribute. The tricky thing is that I've told the kids I'm not playing 10.
Right.
I'm not playing 10 people. So there's a lot of competition, but as you mentioned, I mean, 2 of our guards, Hannah O'Neill and Ainsley Frederick, played some big minutes for us last year. Maya Robinson and Lexi Davis played some minutes for us last year. And then we have 3 other juniors, Izzy Miller, my daughter Ella, and Allie Nagel, who I think are all in the mix. So yeah, I mean, it's a group. I think we have 10 people, 9 of which are upperclassmen, who can contribute. And I think they all will contribute at some point over the course of the season. I think anybody who has coached long enough knows that things happen throughout the course of the year, and you need everyone to be ready. So yeah, I mean, I think the scrimmages have gone very well. I think the kids are really getting after each other in practice because everybody wants to play. You know what I mean? So, and that's a good thing, and I think that's only gonna help our kids. When it comes time for games, and and like every year, it takes time one of the things I love about coaching is, you don't have to have it figured out by New Year's. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, you can develop your team and develop your group as you go, figure out who can contribute what. And like Coach Farraco always told us, you want to be playing your best basketball, kind of going into February and into March. And that's our goal every year.
All right, so let's get to the kids here. So first, Reagan, I know you recently committed to Division II Caldwell University. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what led you there? I know you had a lot of people looking at you and recruiting you. I mean, what did you like about Caldwell? What are you looking forward to there?
I think definitely what led me to Caldwell was like their play style. I think their play style like very much kind of fit with who I am as a player, kind of like transition ball, just getting up and down, just kind of rebound and just get out. I think that's what I really value going into college. I want to like kind of play the same style that we kind of play here at Middle Township. And also the coaches got along with them very well. I think that they're going to put me in like a great position to succeed. And also like the size of the school, I was looking for like a smaller school to go to. So I think that also fits with who I am as a person.
How is it, at this juncture to have that out of the way, so to speak, and now you can just go play? I mean, it's got to be a weight off your shoulders a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a weight off my shoulders. It kind of just allows me to just focus on the season and winning with my team instead of like kind of the pressure of having to like sort of perform in front of some schools or colleges.
All right, so Abby, when you've won 3 South Jersey titles in a row, and obviously for you three and your other seniors that you have on the team, that's a major thing. But how do you balance the goal of that without letting it actually overly consume you, so to speak?
Yeah, so the goal, is just to, like, take it one game at a time, work, like, scrimmages, practices, just, like, playing as hard as we can. And I think if we do that, like he said, like, we're going to get better and better as the season goes on. And then once it's playoffs times, we just got to play our best.
And, from a player's perspective, how do you think the preseason's gone with the scrimmages and the practices so far?
I think it's gone really well. We've been playing really hard, like all together. I feel like we're very like connected this year. Like I feel like much like earlier than we like were in like I feel like years past, and I think it's gonna be like really good for us.
Sarah, what is I know you were nervous coming on here. I know that, but you're gonna do fine. What when you get to go out on the floor every night and have yourself and Abby and Reagan with so much experience and have played in so many big games, how much does that help you guys as a team?
As Abby said, I feel like we're already connected on and off and like way earlier than before, so it already just helps us play and I don't know, just helps us have that connection already. And like obviously when we have that connection, we're going to be able to play better and get the wins we need.
So Sarah, if no one ever looked at a roster, but actually, and saw heights and stuff, but walked in a gym and someone said, "Oh, Middle has a girl that averages like 12 rebounds a game," I don't think they'd pick you out of the layup line. So how do you do it at whatever you are, 5'6", 5'7"? The fact that you play so much bigger and whatnot, and just talk about rebounding, because I don't know if people realize how much of an art there is to it, and you're one heck of an artist in that regard. So just talk about that a little bit.
Rebounding is the best part of the game for me, honestly. My coach always says, once you get a rebound, like you feel like you're in the game, and like that's honestly what gets me going. If I'm not scoring, then rebound, like do something that's going to help the team. And I don't know how I don't know how I got the hops to get it half of the time, but I don't know.
Reagan,
Sarah has tremendous natural instincts, and she just has a knack for the ball. So it's kind of tough to explain that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The ball
finds its way to her. Yeah.
But then there's plenty of times where she finds the ball, but she does a lot of the right things in terms of, we try to teach our kids to get to the boxes and get to the weak side. And she's like always just seems to be in the right spot. And I think her first step makes it difficult for her to box for other teams to box her out. But I think she's a tremendous example of a kid who I mean, if you asked her right now, 15 rebounds a game and a state title and 3 points, she would take it.
Right.
Like she's a kid who just accepts her role and will literally do anything she can to help our team win. It's a tremendous quality to have.
Reagan, how much you've played a lot of basketball, I'm sure with AAU and high school. So, last go round here, how much are you looking forward to it as a senior?
Looking forward to a lot. This year's gonna be very special for us with like the four-peat. I'm just excited to go and play and hopefully put that cap on kind of like our high school career. I'm just excited.
John, how do you feel? Before you get to all that stuff down the line, you're in a pretty darn good conference. Some of the teams that you have to play, and Wildwood Catholic and Alma, a Holy Spirit team that brings some pieces back from a team that really battled you in the Cal title game. Mainland's getting better. Egg Harbor lost a bit, but they have some good young pieces there. I mean the league's tough, and I'm sure you prefer it that way.
For sure. I mean, I think our league, I think the coaching that happens in our league is tremendous. I think, sometimes the coaches in our league don't get enough credit just for the jobs that they do, and everybody's, always prepared. And then obviously we're so familiar with each other. But the bottom line is that, in our division, you have 12 battles, and every game in our division, especially on the road, is going to be tough. But at the end of the day, you have to be battle tested, and I mean, the kids understand that if you're not ready to play anybody on our schedule, you could lose for sure. But I think the competition in our conference, and then when you get to our conference tournament, it's just such good prep. You're just so battle tested when the playoffs come. And the other thing is that, not only are you getting battle tested, but hopefully you're beating teams and getting enough power points to get home court, and now you look at the last couple of years, and we've been able to get to the cutoff date with 4, 5, 6 losses and still get the number 1 seed,
right?
Because the quality of our conference is so good, so yeah, it's great for us to be in such a tough conference, and yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge again.
When you try to build a good culture and good team chemistry, you do things like you did yesterday. So talk about that. I know you went up north to scrimmage, and then you took the kids into New York City. So what was that like for everybody?
Yeah, it was awesome. And I mean, I hope the kids didn't spend too much money on the coaches' Christmas presents.
Right.
I told them not to, but I do know they all brought cash, but I'm not sure.
All right.
But no, I guess 2 years ago, but we've done it at least a half a dozen times. But we took the kids up to Pascack Valley yesterday and had a great try scrimmage with them and with Caldwell. And Pascack is, I guess, about 45 minutes outside the city. So we took the kids into New York City, saw Rockefeller Center. I think everyone needs to go and see the tree and Times Square. And, so we kind of, the kids love it. The parents really trust us because we give the kids free time in New York. So they kind of group up and they have about 3, 4, 5 hours in the city to just kind of walk around and go to Barnes and Nobles or whatever stores they want to go to, and do all that fun stuff. And just be in the city over Christmas is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's great. We had a lot of kids who had never been in the city before. I think maybe sometimes we take it for granted that, our kids get to spend time in Philly and New York, but some of them have never been there.
Right.
So yeah, yesterday was an awesome day, and we had a great dinner. And then, yeah, we were home by 10 o'clock, not too late for coach. And I slept in this morning until 9 o'clock, which, when you're old, that's
like vacation.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But we had a great time, and the kids, when you have great kids that you trust, you can do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we try to do some bowling nights and different things to kind of to have fun and kind of loosen up, so I'm not grumpy all the time. That's usually the case, and the kids will tell you. But we had a great day yesterday.
You should hear what they say about you when you're not around.
Oh, I know. Listen, I know. Listen, I know. I'm grumpy. I know. I know that, brother.
Abby, I don't want to forget, because obviously you made your college choice too. you had some options. I know you had people looking at you for field hockey as well, but you're going to go play basketball at a Division II school in Pennsylvania, in Mansfield. You got to be excited about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and like the difference between me for like basketball and field hockey is that like I love playing the game of basketball. I love the pace. I love being able to just like be all over the place and like just like being like the point guard. Like I feel like I can like keep the team together. Like they can just go be free. I give the ball to Reagan or Sarah and they just go, and I just like love watching it. Committing, like I loved it up there right when I was there. The coaches were amazing. The team, like I walked in, they were all nice, and I'm just like really excited.
Just make sure mom and dad buy you a new pair of snow boots. You're going to need them.
I'm on that.
John, just talk about just the overall. I mean, it just seems like you have three gems here, and it just seems like every year you have just really good kids in your program. Just talk about the type of kid that you get at middle, and I'm sure that's what's kept you there all these years.
Well, it's not the stipend or the paycheck. I know that. That's for sure. But no. Well, I've said for years, I'm super lucky that I coach great kids. We usually, for years, just have tough multi-sport athletes who want to work, who want to get better, who want to be coached. I mean, these three kids want to be coached. I mean, I think if I didn't yell at them at least once at practice, they would probably ask me what was wrong. So I mean, I think these kids want to be coached and they want to be pushed. I think they're driven to be great. But overall, when I think back to all the kids that I've coached, they're all great kids. They're lucky to have really good support at home. And like I said, like I think back to your Kira Sides and your Ruskies and Hunters and all the names. And in the beginning, the Sykeses and, all those kids, Danielle Barber, I mean, I can go on and on and on. But they're just great kids who want to work, who want to be coached. And, I'm lucky that I've had the opportunity to be around great kids.
All right. Well, listen, we hope for much success for you guys, and we'll CAL title and a South Jersey title. Was great to see last year, and hopefully all your dreams come true this year. So Sarah Farrow, Abby Capoletti, Reagan Powell, head coach John Leahy, the Middle Township girls basketball team. Thank you for being here,
and thanks for everything you do, Brian. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back with the middle boys right after this, live from the Mudhen, Cape Atlantic Live High School Basketball Preview Show. We'll be right back. All right, back live at the Mudhen as we move it along here, the Cape May County High School basketball preview show here in the station house of the Mudhen. And right now joined by the boys program from Middle Township, and they are represented by head coach Lamar Greer, and then to the coach's left, Chase Moore, Mason Morawski, Kanye Perkins, and Adam Wabesh. I think I got that close to right, Adam. So, but thanks, gentlemen, for coming over. And first of all, Lamar, I want to start with what we were just talking about before we came back on air here. You guys went up and played a really tough scrimmage against, one of the best teams in the state, Wildwood Catholic. How'd you think you acquitted yourselves up there?
We did good. It's a good challenge for us. It's one thing that says about our program, they actually answer the phone when we call. Yeah, so they, you know what I mean? We go up there and it's what we expected, what they wanted. So we both benefited from it. It's good for our kids to see one of the top 5 teams in the state.
All right, so let's talk about these guys that you have here. Obviously, you brought them here because they're key parts of your team. So you got Chase, Mason, and Kanye and Adam. These are guys that have varying degrees of experience. Some are returning starters. A kid like Adam played a lot of minutes off the bench, so did Mason. But talk about these guys and what they bring to you.
They're next up in our program. Everybody knows we lost a great player in Jameer, but we take pride in developing our kids, and these kids have been developed, and they're next up. Chase has had all the experience in the world. All he knows is winning. Mason and Kanye and Adam, they bought into everything we teach, and they're next up, and they're ready to go. And they showed that yesterday against one of the top teams in the state.
How about let's talk about some of the other guys that are going to help that aren't up here on the dais. But obviously I know when I talked to you at practice the other day, you seem to be pretty happy with your depth. You got some younger kids and that are really coming along. Talk about some of them.
Yeah, we're really excited about Darian Hawkins. He's a junior. He's been waiting his turn, and you practice every day against one of the best guards in the state. You're obviously going to get better. And then he had a great off season. Mikey Farrell is another kid that's really talented, and we're really hard on him, but he's buying into it. And Tommy Yarson and Kyle Mick are two. Tommy's a junior, but Kyle Mick's a 6'3" sophomore that we're really looking forward to. He's buying into everything. He's accepting his role, and he's playing hard. He's competing every day. But he has to play against these guys every day, so it's making him better.
And then in January, you're going to get a couple kids eligible transfers. Yeah. Alex Daniel and Jaleo Wakefield. I mean, how do you see them fitting in? But those are 2 kids that have a lot of high school varsity experience in big games, come from 2 programs.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting both on. Look, the great thing about both of them, they've come in and they bought into our system and our culture, and not even just the culture of our team, the culture of our school. So Alex and Leo have been really, really great. They're working really hard, and we can't wait to get them.
Chase, how much are you looking forward to this? I mean, you were almost I would say kind of a complimentary piece the last few years, and I'm sure now you have the ball in your hands a little bit more, maybe a little bit more as a scorer. What are you looking forward to this year?
Looking forward to a complete team. I think we got a complete team that could compete for a state championship, and I'm really excited for everybody to make a name for themselves.
Mason, let's go to you. Last year, I know you guys went out a little earlier than you probably should have in the Cape Atlantic League tournament. So, and I know that's a ways away, but how do you feel about trying to make amends for that?
I'm just really looking forward to winning. We really can prove everyone wrong this year. I think people think because we lost a key player, just thinks that we're not going to be as good, but I really think we can come stronger this year and prove everybody wrong.
Kanye, let's go to you. You had a transition last year, coming over here from New Zealand, and now that you've been here for a while, I mean, how much better do you feel going into this year, maybe more so than last year?
I feel a lot more confident. I was in the gym with these guys all summer, so I feel confident going into the season compared to last season.
Adam, talk about you were a little bit of a role player. I know you're going to play a bigger role this year. How do you feel about this team that you have here? I mean, because you seem to have a lot of good pieces.
I'm very happy with this team. I'm looking forward to this season, and we're going to be playing good. I know that we are.
Lamar, I know you always talk about the standard being the standard, and that's winning, and winning 20 games and competing for the league title and competing for a South Jersey or a state title. And I would imagine that with this group, it's no different.
Yeah, that's the thing about our program. It doesn't change no matter who we lose. You lose a Ricky Harmon, you lose a John Leahy, Lamar Grizz, Stefano Anderson. The next year is still expected, not only from us, from our community. So we're going to Wildwood and Lamar. Who's next? So who we have to beat to win the state, and we're looking forward. We know the date, March 14th. We plan to be at Rutgers. You know what I mean? So we're ambitious, and you can see in our schedule we're ambitious, and we wouldn't schedule the way we do if we didn't believe in our guys.
What's it like for you? And I could ask this of a lot of the coaches around, boys and girls. To go back to your alma mater and be a head coach. We have quite a few of that in this area, but talk about that at Middle for you.
It's a lot of pride, and I feel like I gained a world of knowledge, and now I'm coming back to my community and giving it back to these kids. And it's not just on the court, it's off the court, my life lessons, and we talk about life and everything. That's the one good thing about us traveling to Wildwood Catholic for 2 hours. We get to talk and be with each other, eat with each other, and you get to give life lessons, not only from me, from my staff, like Charlie McNeil and Coach Babno and Harmon, and all those guys come back, and they get life lessons from all of us.
There's no easing into the season for you. You're gonna open. You're gonna open with Lenape.
Yes.
Who I know some people think is a top 5 team in South Jersey. So talk about that challenge and why you wanted to have that challenge right away out of the gate.
That shows how we believe in our off-season work. We looked at our team, how hard they worked, the sacrifices they made for AAU basketball and team basketball, and we were like, I think we're really ready. So put them on the schedule. So and we really believe in these guys, and they work hard, and the hard work is going to show, and we're looking forward to it. And we always have a saying: we never lose, we learn. So we want to learn about our team. We want to learn our weaknesses, and we want to play our best basketball in April and in March, in February and March, not right now.
Let's talk about your division. Some good teams in there. Ocean City's good. The Prep's good. Atlantic City's back in.
Yep.
Mainland's a little better. Wildwood Catholic's going to be a factor when they get some kids eligible with a transfer thing. So just talk about how you fit in your division and the challenges there.
Yeah, we love our division. It's hard. Every game we always say, even on the road, we just say, let's just get out with a win. It doesn't matter how we do it, how many points. Let's just get out with a win, and we're happy to get out of any building with a win. And then, of course, we got to defend home. So we love our division, and we think it gets us ready for February and March. So we're happy to see all the team. We're happy to see Atlantic City in it, and we'll play them twice. And we're looking forward to it. So it's going to be a task, and I think we're up to it, and we worked hard.
Chase, I want to ask one more of you. You're kind of the guy that probably has the most experience of anybody coming back, and you went through the rigors of 4 years of also playing football and playing basketball at Middle. So this is kind of your last go round here. So how do you feel about this being your last season and what you want to try to get out of it?
I feel it's kind of crazy. It's my last season playing for L. At that, I'm looking for a state championship. State championship or bust is what I've been saying and what I'm gonna keep saying too. So.
It's a good goal to have. So Lamar, do you have to feel overall the program's in a good spot? I mean, when I walk in the gym and I see how deep you are, and some of these young kids that I know are coming. I was talking to a couple of your assistant coaches, and they're very high on some of your sophomores. That you're just that you're going to end up moving up next year or whatever. But you have to feel good about where your program is. It's in a good place.
Yeah, we do. But I think it's a system we created, and I have to say it's more than just the coaches, our administration, our teachers, even our guidance department. We're all on the same page, and it's for the betterment of these kids. And our coaches, they keep evolving with the game, and we keep learning new things about the game of basketball, and because it all benefits the kids. So I think it's us, but it's our whole building that's helping us develop our program and helping to get our program to where it's at and to where it's going. Because I don't want to say we're there yet. It's got to keep on going.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. So Middle Township, Adam Bwabesh, Kanye Perkins, Mason Morawski, Chase Moore, head coach Lamar Greer. We wish you guys nothing but the best. Good luck this year, and thanks for coming over to the Mudhen.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, that's the Middle Township boys basketball team. We wish them the best of luck, and we'll be back as we move it along. Cape Atlantic Live, high school basketball preview show live from the Mudhen. Back right after this.
Sorry.
All right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood, the Cape May County High School basketball preview show here on Cape Atlantic Live and CapeAtlanticLive.com. And now we have the Wildwood girls here. So it's head coach Teresa Kniff all the way down the end. Didn't want to sit next to the host for some reason. I don't know why. And then coming down from there, the three seniors, Sydney Killian and Kiana D'Antonio and Angie Wilbur. And Kiana, I got your last name right this time, didn't I?
No.
I didn't?
No.
I didn't? D'Antonio. Isn't that what I said?
D'Antonio.
Oh, sorry. D'Antonio. I'll get it right by the time you graduate. But anyway, thanks for being here. And coming off a pretty good year, start with the coach, 22 wins, get to the South Jersey title game for the 6th straight year, I think, something like that. I don't know. Talk about where you feel you are going into this season based off of what you did and who you have back and that type of stuff.
This season, I think we're gonna be very competitive.
Get a little closer to that microphone there.
Very competitive.
Mhm.
We're gonna our out of league teams that we scheduled is going to be very tough for us. But that'll set us up for the playoffs. We have 3 great seniors coming back. We have Rebecca Beneshu, Joelle Murphy as an addition, as a transfer, Addison Triano. I mean, our whole team, there's no drop off. We were talking about that at practice today. Usually when you, with your varsity team and then your JV team, you have a little drop off, and we don't see that at all. I mean, we're going to be like very, very, very competitive in every single game, and we're going to pride ourselves on our defense.
So let's talk about these 3. Angie is a 4-year starter, 3.
Yeah.
3-year starter. 3-year starter. Kiana came into the program last year. Sydney's been around for a while. But just talk about these 3 individuals here and what they bring to your team.
First off, Angie Wilbur, she's our point guard. She's closing in on 1,000 points. She's what, 8? What are you at? 8. She's got 100 and so points left. And she leads our team. She's the backbone of our team. Kiana, she does the dirty work, boxes out, rebounds, makes a shot. Her 3-point shooting right now is outstanding. And we're looking forward to seeing that in games. And Sid, she's going to play a role coming off the bench. She's going to play tough as nails. She's going to box people out. She's going to get rebounds. She's going to do the dirty work also.
All right, so Sid, we're going to start with you because I know you're the one that really, really wants to talk. Just talk about your role as a senior and coming off the bench, but trying to set an example for the younger players. Talk about that.
Sorry. So some people think like coming off the bench, not starting as like a senior, like, oh, are you not that good? That doesn't mean anything. To me, like coming off the bench is fine for me. And I think it shows the other girls that you don't have to be starting to do a good job and to stay, what am I trying to say? Sorry. What I'm trying to say is that coming off the bench as a senior, it's not a bad thing. Coming off the bench as a freshman, coming off the bench as any grade. As long as you work hard, there shouldn't be a problem with it. And I'm okay with it.
Kiana, 2nd year in the program now. You transferred in the Wildwood from Cape May Tech. So, how do you feel going into your 2nd year after having that year under your belt and getting to know your teammates and all that stuff?
It's definitely still like a little bit of an adjustment just because I'm kind of like a sophomore in a way. But, I know all the plays. I think that's really just the biggest thing because we have a lot of them. But, no, I like it. I like it a lot better than Tech, so.
And how's your, how do you feel about this group going into the season? You obviously you lost Macy, who was one of the best players in program history. But to bring a lot back, and then you get the addition of Joelle. Just talk about your team.
I think our team this year is going to be really good. I'm really excited for what everyone is going to do. We have a few transfers that are also going to bring a lot to the table.
And yeah, I'm excited. I think we can go just as far or even farther than last year.
So Coach, let's talk about the addition of Joelle, because in a lot of ways she's exactly what you needed. I mean, you're a small team. A lot of us around town joke that if there's a good high school basketball player above 5'5", they go to Wildwood Catholic. Below 5'5", they go to Wildwood. To get Joelle to come in and with her size and even her ability to go out and face the basket, what do you feel like she's bringing to your team?
Well, with the addition of Joelle, it changes everything for us, defensively, offensively, everything. Like, for years, we've been vertically challenged, and now we have a big that can change things. It could open up outside shots for my guards. She could take the three. She could post up. She could go to the foul line, face the basket, hit shooters. It's going to be amazing for us.
So let's talk about a couple of the other kids that are going to be, major contributors. Rebecca Bennett, who's a junior. She could get her 1,000th point this year. She's in range right now, sitting at the table, no matter where the basket is, and she will shoot it from there. By the way, I do know that. Addison's a kid that probably may benefit the most from Joelle being here with your team because of that'll open some things up for her inside. But talk about those two because obviously they're major contributors.
Well, Rebecca, her range is crazy. Like, it's a freak of nature. Like, she could shoot from like logos, and it's amazing. It goes in all the time, which it's amazing for my program and for her teammates. Won us a South Jersey championship on a 3-point corner shot. But I'm tickled pink to have her. Addison Triano's tough as nails. Her and Joelle are going to be a very awesome complement to each other. And, the sky's the limit for this team. Really is.
Yeah. Talk about your depth because, I know this is, I think this is your, 8th year or 9th year, whatever it is?
9th, I think.
I mean, this is probably the deepest team you've had. I mean, so talk about some of those younger kids and the kids that are going to provide you the depth.
Just a few years ago, we had 8 kids in the whole program. And for us to have 16 right now, it's amazing. And like I said before, like, there's no drop off. Our sophomores and freshmen are ready for varsity time. They're ready for everything, so we're going to be very deep. We can run people off the floor, and they're very skilled and they're intense. It's amazing.
How, maybe I'll ask one of the kids. I'll ask you, Ange. How do you feel about the culture around your program right now? Because it just seemed like in the 2 scrimmages, there's a lot of sharing of the ball and cheering for one another and whatnot. Just talk about the culture in your program right now.
Yeah, we definitely have a great team culture. Everybody picks each other up. We all high five each other every play. Everyone's just really excited for everyone's success, and everyone shares the ball. It's just it's really fun to play with everybody.
This is a little different because in terms of you're really challenging yourself out of league. As a Group 1 school, you're playing quite a few Group 3 and 4s. You're playing obviously a really good team in Wildwood Catholic. You're playing a Group 4 size school at the Christmas tournament from Pennsylvania. So how important was that? Because I know, your division, so to speak, especially with Gloucester Catholic moving out, you kind of needed those challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to challenge ourselves, and this is all setting us up for the playoffs. The harder teams and the bigger teams that we play, it benefits us greatly.
How would you how would you assess the goals for this season? I mean, what are the goals for your team?
Well, listen. First goal, 20 wins. Second goal, winning our division. Third goal, getting home court advantage for the NJSAA playoffs. And hopefully win a South Jersey final. And maybe get to Rutgers on March 15th.
Kiana, how do you feel going into this season with this group? I mean, how excited are you?
I'm so excited. I think we have so many girls that can just come in and out of the games. Like, we, on the scrimmage, we were subbing out in and out like crazy, and it was still working. I don't think I've ever seen that many girls come in and out of a game, and it still works somehow, even with offense, defense, everything.
So I'm super excited.
Two of these tough games that you have are right off the bat here. You have Atlantic City, Group 4 team that is always just very hard to play against, no matter what they have there, just because of the way they coach them, which is a compliment, obviously. And then you have kind of a tricky Pennsville team that's got a lot back. And then I know next Saturday you're playing Eastern, so you're kind of throwing right into the fire in the beginning. So what do you think about that?
We have to be battle tested. We have to. This is going to be like the test of our season. Playing these good teams, and if you don't play teams that are very good, you don't get better. So we're going to see what our girls are made out of by playing this tough schedule. All
right, so the Wildwood girls, ladies, we appreciate you being here. So head coach Teresa Kniff, Sydney Killian, lady of 1,000 words, Kiana D'Antono, got it right this time, and Angie Wilbur. Ladies, thank you and good luck. The Wildwood girls basketball team, they open tomorrow against Atlantic City. We'll be right back with the Wildwood boys as we'll wrap it up on the other side of the break. High school basketball preview show live from the Mudhen in Wildwood. All right, back live at the Mudhen, our last segment. We appreciate everybody coming out for the Cape May County High School basketball preview show. Always a great night in a great venue. We appreciate what the Mudhen does for us here to set us up to be able to host this every year. And we finish up with the Wildwood Boys program. And, we always have Wildwood last because you guys are the local ones. We can have you here later. There's a certain guy out there that criticizes us for this. So head coach Scott McCracken could not make it. So assistant coach Rich Hans is here, and he's got three of his juniors in Nolan Mawhinney, Trevor Troiano, and Gianni Troiano. And for those that don't know, Trevor and Gianni are cousins, not brothers. But they fight like brothers. We know that. So anyway, Rich, just to tell us about the preseason so far. 4 starters back this year, a couple other kids that were contributors. So at the very least, there's a decent amount of experience there.
Yeah, so we have a good mix of, older kids and younger kids that are coming in this year. I know that everyone knows we have about 10 freshmen. So hopefully, halfway through the season, some of them will be able to be real contributors. And with the junior leadership that we have, and a couple seniors in Jordan Dozier and Eric and Jeffrey, we should be pretty solid. As long as we play defense and play hard like the Wildwood teams normally do, we should be okay. We'll be able to compete.
So before we get to these guys, let's talk about those seniors with Eric Jordan and Jordan Dozier and Jeffrey Knight. They provide a lot of your size. This is one of the bigger Wildwood teams that you guys have fielded in quite a while. So that's one place where you do have an advantage a lot of nights.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit taller than we normally were, but the thing that's going to hurt us a little bit is the lack of experience with those three kids, right? Jordan Dozier's the only one with any real basketball experience. He's played since he's been in third grade, but Eric, as big as he is and as much as he's going to help us, he's only been playing basketball for a couple years, so he's still kind of getting his feet wet in the game. He has done some very nice things over the last couple years. I'm hoping that he progresses during the season and he can really be a big man, a threat in the paint. And, Jeffrey with obviously slashing in a basket and trying to get us some rebounds, that'll help also.
All right, so first let's talk about Nolan. He's the leading scorer among the returnees. I think it was a little under 12 points a game. Well, first, well, I'll ask you this, Nolan. I mean, there's going to be an adjustment here because now you're probably going to get that top defender every night. So what are you going to do to make that adjustment against that? What you're going to say?
I'm gonna try to share the ball a lot more. I got Trevor, Eric, Jordan, so I think they can help me out and take that pressure off me a little bit. And I'm just gonna try my best every night.
Trevor, how do you have to feel a lot more comfortable now coming back as a start. You kind of got thrown to the fire as a sophomore. How do you feel coming into this season? In terms of your own game.
Just being more confident and knowing what to expect every time I step onto the floor and what I'm gonna get every game. All the pressure, just being ready every game.
Gianni, I know, in some practices or whatever, you've been a starter, you've been off the bench in the past. I mean, what kind of role do you think you bring to this team?
Definitely bring the energy and just defense. Whenever we need someone to play good defense, I always go in for that.
Your division last year was extremely difficult. You had a tremendous Pittman team, a really good Salem team. Gloucester Catholic was in your division, but now they're out. Pittman's lost a little bit. How do you feel like you're set up in terms of competing in that Tri-County Classic division?
Well, like you said, all the other teams had a ton of experience, so it was a very tough division for us. And now we kind of switched the roles, right? They lost a lot, and now we have a little bit more experience. So as long as these guys come to play and they play hard and they have that next play mentality, which we talk about all the time, we should be okay. As long as they keep their heads and just play the way that they know how to play the game, we should be all right.
Talk about some of these young kids. You mentioned all the freshmen. It's probably one of the better. I mean, there's been a lot of years where Wildwood gets a good freshman or two, but this is a really deep freshman class that you guys have in there. You got to be excited about the future of your program as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of them will play, at the JV level, but we have Owen Bannon who's stepped in. He's done very well in the couple scrimmages that we have. Michael Scares got some time in the varsity games, scrimmages. We have Levi Shepard's got a little bit of time in the scrimmages. And then we have Matt Mayer. We have Lewis. Lewis Sewell. Forgive me if I forget some of them. 12 of them, 10 or 12 of them is a lot to have. So, you have some kids that can really play basketball. We got Shawnee Kniff. We got Zamir. Trying to remember a couple more. Will Audie. So, I mean, there's a nice core of kids to kind of build around, and hopefully these three guys, we talked about it a lot when they were freshmen. We had a pretty good senior class or junior class then with Junior Hines and Ryan and all those guys. And I'm hoping that these guys right here to my left can kind of lead these younger guys the right way. You know what I mean? That's always what you're looking for from your leadership, is just leading the program and playing for the name on the front of your jersey, not the name on your back.
Trev, what's it like? Because I know, I can ask both of you and Gianni. The Triano name is just entrenched with Wildwood High School overall and its athletic program. So, what do you get on the home front in terms of the way you're supposed to play when you play for Wildwood, regardless of sport?
It's really just playing hard because like just I don't know. We always just play really hard, like defense. Maybe not on the offensive side, but defense. We always hustle and stuff. Like that's what like my role is growing up. I always just watch them, always hustling and stuff. So playing defense really, and always being on the floor, loose balls, always getting them.
Nolan, last year in the Tri-County Conference. So, how important would it be for you guys to, maybe compete for that division title, maybe try to win a division title on your last year in the conference?
Yeah, it would be very, very nice. So it's kind of what I'm planning for this year. It's what I want. It's the end goal. So that would be very nice. Yeah.
Still away. It's still a year away, Rich, but I got to imagine the program as a whole looking forward to coming back to the Cape Atlantic League.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting for the school. Football doesn't change much because of that West Jersey Football League, but I'm really looking forward to it for baseball. And I know that myself and all the basketball kids and parents and the school were really looking forward to moving over there and, making that division a little bit better. So
talk about your goals. 10-17 last year. I got to imagine with 4 starters back and a little bit, maybe a little more depth than you had last year, that your goals are going to be better than that.
Yep. I mean, I think that we're going to start a little slow. I mean, we gotta figure out a way to replace 15 to 20 points a game, and Nolan took a lot of that pressure off of Brian because he was kind of our second scorer. So I think these guys both know, and I think Trevor knows that we're kind of looking for him to kind of be our Nolan this year. And, it's going to take a little bit of adjusting because he's used to bringing up the ball and handling the ball. And now that we have Owen and Gianni's getting a little bit more playing time, we kind of can get Trevor off the ball a little bit so that he can become a second scorer, so to speak. But we need somebody to step up that's going to take some of that pressure off Nolan and be able to put the ball in the basket. So as long as we do that, I think that we'll progress well during the season. I think that we should improve on last year's record. So,
the opener, I think, is Thursday with Pittman.
Yeah, Thursday.
How big is that game? Right out of the chute. Pittman was a tremendous team last year, but I believe it was 5 senior starters, so they're going to be very young and inexperienced. But how big is that game? Right out of the chute in the division there.
Well, Pittman's a lot like us, as you know. You've been around for a little while, so they're going to come out and they're going to play tough. It's not going to be an easy game. I hope our kids are, ready to go up there. We struggle very bad on the road, so we got to get off the bus and be ready to play. And that's where the leadership and the upperclassmen come into play, because if they get off the bus, lackadaisical it'll be a tough game. So as long as they come ready to play, as soon as we walk off that bus, we should come home with a W.
Okay. All right, the Wildwood Boys program with Gianni Troiano, Trevor Troiano, Nolan Mawhinney, assistant coach Rich Hans in place of head coach Scott McCracken for the second year in a row. Scott blew us off again. That's all right. You're a better speaker than he is anyway. So, but we appreciate these guys coming. We appreciate everyone, every team. We do this every year, and every team is represented. All the coaches come. They bring their players. Parents come. A lot of players are here that don't come on the air. And it's a great night out and celebrating Cape May County High School basketball and really highlighting the kids. Go ahead, Rich.
This is the Sunday before the opening game every year, right? Just so Scott can remember for next year.
Actually, no. Usually we do it the previous week, but we moved it this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I
was just trying to make
sure. Maybe we'll set the date like tomorrow so Scott can clear his calendar.
I think we're going to need to do that.
But again, we appreciate everybody being here. We appreciate what the Mudhen does for us. We're going to have a lot of broadcasts for you on Cape Atlantic Live. We're expecting on Tuesday to have the Ocean City Holy Spirit game on. And then on Thursday, we'll have Wildwood Catholic in Atlantic City. We'll have our schedule posted online soon. We'll put it on the Facebook page and on the website. So please stay tuned. Can't do it without Matt Ulmer behind all the equipment. He does a great job in producing all of this and setting us up and getting us online and whatnot for what we humbly feel are the best broadcasts of high school basketball in South Jersey. So we're looking forward to it. So for Wildwood and for all the teams, thanks again for joining us, and we wish everyone the best of luck. This has been I'm Brian Kniff. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show on Cape Atlantic Live from the Mudhen Brewing Company in Wildwood. Again, thanks for joining us, and we wish everyone the best of luck this season.